Just to give you some examples, on a political level, there's a tremendous amount of rhetoric. In addition to that, on a local level, there's rhetoric about people hating Airbnbs.
Right.
You have periods of times in the past as well where Airbnb would be talked about very highly,
Yeah.
and people preferred it over hotels as an example.
Oh, yeah.
If you fast forward to like where sentiment is right now on Airbnb, I personally still enjoy Airbnbs. I don't have an issue with it, but I also still have always biased towards hotels, give or take where I'm going to. But let me be clear, the over that 2-year duration in time, just in the most recent window you're talking about, we're sitting under the Trump presidency currently, but in addition to that, it's like the localized rhetoric of different markets that you're maybe telling people to exploit as somebody who's selling to either wannabe investors or investors, depending on the demographic that you deem as ideal. They're hearing all these things. They inherit these things as hand-me-down beliefs. And then if your specific webinar in this case is that's the only front door that you have right now, doesn't actively talk just about the context of making the decision to start investing into Airbnb seriously, you can imagine that you'd see a 50% contraction in your
Oh, yeah.
your closing rate as a result of that. Whereas the
Yeah.
other people are likely talking about, have you compared your messaging to the other people, simply put? That's what I'm trying to ask. And are the other people
I
talking
have
about
not gone deep into like their ad library or seen exactly what they've been changing, and I probably should just follow more of them just to kind of get an idea and stay on top of it. But no, I think that it seems even like based on the offers that you mentioned, as far as software and AI and being able to use that more of an as an angle seems to be kind of the main takeaway, and that's something I haven't done at all. And I already have it in my Airbnb software. We've been using AI for almost 2.5 years now. It's just I've never really put much emphasis on selling from that angle.
Okay, so let me be clear. The messaging that you have right now, the 20 to 25 ads that you're running within these ad sets, do they also parrot what you've been talking about for 2 years? Or have you attempted to update the ads, but not the actual webinar?
The ads and the messaging are pretty consistent as well, and have probably been like the same, similar for the last few years. Obviously, different locations that we shoot at, but yeah, as far as the messaging, learn how to buy, your first Airbnb in the next, 60 days. Talking about the most profitable Airbnb markets. I do mention the software and, kind of show a couple demos and maybe probably a quarter of the ads that we're running right now. Um, but no, I'm not directly talking about the macroeconomic condition, and how it compares or how it relates to Airbnb. I'm not really talking about policy. I'm not really talking about anything that would probably appeal more to the sophisticated investor that would want in the program.
We had this client, she teaches people how to buy businesses,
Yeah.
and she specifically during it was there was just a period of time, simply put, where Trump was actively talking about rate hikes, and we were like entering and exiting from different wars, and there was immediately like talk about recessions, and the news had just flooded the market with, oh, we're about to go into like a pretty serious recession. And as a result of that, initially the cost per call for that girl teaching people how to buy businesses spiked from like the low $100 range to like close to $100 range to like $400 to $800 without
Wow.
exaggeration, like almost overnight, within like a week of all that, we're going into a recession rhetoric. And I'd called her and I'd said, hey, I need you to create some emergency ads for me. I just need you to talk like why this is like in a genuine way, like in a believable way. Like, why is this a great time to start buying a business? Like, why does it make sense now more than ever? And she started immediately just dumping on the phone to me about how it absolutely is the best possible time to buy. As you likely know, recessions create opportunities, not, situations where if you're rich, you're going to experience a contraction. It's usually the exact opposite.
Right.
Those are the periods of times where you invest and then you come out the other side, the absolute man of the situation. So long story short, she goes and she films these updated ads, and then boom, the cost per call drops right back down to actually below where it was prior. We were back in like the $70 to $90 range after that for a sustained period of time. The trading demographic is another example of offers that I can think of that experience the same thing. We have like 3 or 4 guys in Jeremy's inner circle that have crypto offers. One of them we just gave a $5 million a month trophy to.
Mhm.
Guys, Salim and Tin, and they get up on stage and they show this like massive amount of offers they have. But at the same time, like they've had, and as with almost everybody in that space, If crypto's in a bear market, everybody gets fucked on collectively and all of them have to update their messaging to like the bear Bible or like, things that relate to like having success in those periods. Vice versa, when they're in bull markets, all their messaging has to immediately adapt and update. So policy aside, you likely haven't updated to what's called the sophistication of the market.